You know, I can't lie to you. It's good to be back making another history video, even if it's just 2 more. Now, don't worry, this is going to be a total reboot of the entire series. I know some of you were worried. Unlike Sony, I don't have to re-release the history series every year if I want to make money, like they've been releasing new versions of The Last of Us on different consoles. But a piece of me felt like VG's history video was actually just a hate piece against her, because it actually was. See, the video was only 4 minutes long, and I feel like I did not give the hero enough chance to have her own video. And look, I'm not stupid or closed-minded. I know people actually enjoy VG, and not because she's some I win button of the game right now, but because of her aesthetic, and I can respect that. That's why I want to give her another video. I think as a community, we need to understand that people actually enjoy meta heroes, not for the sole reason that they're meta, but because they have a call to them. Except Hito, because we still bully Hito mains no matter what. But as I said, let me reassure you, this is not going to become a habit, but allows me to have some in-between time for thinking about new video ideas, because I'm going to be honest, my brain's running on empty, and I got another month until this new hero comes out. Before we begin the series' momentary comeback, if you like what you're watching and you keep coming back, hit that sub button. Helps me out a lot. Anyways, enjoy the video. VARANGIAN was released on February 1st of 2024. I know plenty of people are questioning that because that means VG's been in the game for about over a year now, but yes, that is the case. She was the first non-Outlanders hero since 2022. Not only that, she would be given to the Vikings faction, a faction that has not seen a new hero since August of 2019 with the release of Jormungandr. For Honor for the last 4 years had been pushing the new Outlanders faction, a faction majorly hated by the community for having heroes that pushed past what was acceptable and balanced in a hero and Medjay. So I think the fanbase was finally happy to see a hero that was not part of the Outlanders faction. VG's release was pretty smooth, other than those morons that purchased it the millisecond it came out and cried on the Steam reviews that they haven't gotten it yet. And a funny thing to note was that on VG launch they had a very funny bug where they were not allowed to throw people diagonally. Every character has 8 different directions they are able to throw an opponent, all with unique animations tied to them. VG on launch was fully unable to throw people in any diagonal direction, leading to some funny but frustrating moments. She was a hero at first glance that did not seem to have very much in her kit. The For Honor community was so used to having new heroes released with paragraphs of movesets all being viable at the top of level play day 1. So when people opened up VG's moveset and it looked like a year 1 hero's moveset, people calmly rejoiced. And that was also me included. See, over a year ago, I was a clueless loser who did not care for words like enhanced, or bind, or mid-chain CCs. I was just happy that I thought for once we had a hero that couldn't mash buttons and win. This is what I call For Honor's honeymoon phase, where everyone buys a hero that's new and is playing them at their own strengths. Nobody is outright knowing what to do with the hero and abuse it like they do nowadays with VG. It's just people trying something new, and the only thing they can fall back on is their own skill level. When players are in the honeymoon phase, they are normally completely unaware of a hero's potential to be strong. VG was like a wolf in sheep's clothing. He had crushing counters, which on a shield hero was very standard. She was classified as a heavy hero without the heavy perk tree, which felt weird because normally heavies are supposed to be tanky, but primarily that is because of their perks like Last Stand and Bastion. And for once, she had actual chain enders, where on whiff or finisher light, you couldn't just chain into another attack like it was nothing, like every other hero that released before her. The full block mechanic on release seemed pretty normal at the time. It was timed and could be potentially used on whiff exactly like Aramusha's, and the finisher heavy unblockable had soft aim mechanics. Yet again, something very normal to see in today's standard. I will admit, for a month I really enjoyed playing VARANGIAN. I thought this was For Honor's big return to form of hero simplicity and effectiveness, but Jesus Christ, I was so blissfully unaware for the time. It really only took about 2 months for people to figure out the bullshit that was the VARANGIAN. She had some insane damage numbers right off the gate. Majority of that comes from unblockable heavy, saying that it chains from everything into it. The heavy does 27 damage outright, it's soft paintable into guard break, cannot be guard broken on whiff, and can be full block recovered, and on the top of that, can be buffed by her own third feat to do 29 damage. Now, the reason this move is so hated isn't because it has 20 different passive effects, it's because that this is primarily the move you are losing to the most against VG. Players can often find themselves stuck between a 50-50 soft paint read that they can never get out of properly. The bind mechanic is what people would say is unique to VG, and sadly, yes, that is the case. The bind mechanic is specifically on her full block stance. Any opponent that comes into contact with her full block will now face a 1,633 MS, or in English, 1.6 second stun. This is longer than any full block in the game by 10 folds. Not only that, but the external target hitting the guard extended the full block duration for 500 MS, also stunning them for 1.6 seconds. And on top of that, it also broke moves that were enhanced. Let me give a quick rundown on enhanced versus non-enhanced moves versus full blocks. When a move that is not enhanced ends up hitting a full block, the user is then stunned with medium hit stun, allowing for a full block riposte or counter. This is how it works for every single full block in the entire live game. When an opponent hits your guard with an enhanced attack, the stun will not affect the opponent and will allow them to continue their chain. With this in mind, this can lead to really skilled and clever counterplay from both sides, and can lead to really fun and skillful fights where you truly have to outwit your opponent in what you're gonna do. VG said, yeah, you know what, fuck all that fucking bullshit, and had the ability to just negate enhanced attacks too because the bind mechanic. While this did cause a lot of problems and frustrations, it also caused solutions in the community. The problems that arose were a significant crutch on the full block stance, especially when someone activates Revenge. It still happens today where if someone pops Revenge near a Varangian guard, they start reenacting the hit song Anaconda by Nicki Minaj by busting it down.
My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun.
Making the simple mistake of throwing a heavy attack near a VG can spell doom for your entire Revenge bar, with a 1.6 second hit stun applied from bind, with also a wall splat that does 1.1 seconds worth of hit stun. You can see that you have lost about half of your Revenge for trying to play the game. If you hit anyone else's full block apart from Blackbriar's, this situation literally never happens. Even Aramusha with the same exact punishes on full block does not have the same effect because he does not have bind. But with the frustrations of VG's bind mechanic came a solution to Frauner's bigger problem. A problem that had been plaguing the game for almost about a year now, and that was enhanced dodge attacks. Dodge attacking being used as externals was always a common thing in practice. You had big ones like Kensei, Griffin, and Shaolin, where they were able to apply pressure with an external dodge attack by simply dodge attacking when locking onto someone else. This was countered by any full block in the game, seeing as once they hit your full block, they wouldn't be stunned, but since all these characters I just listed don't have dodge cancels, they could not get away from the punish. The same, though, could not be said for Pirate, Orochi, or Berserker. Their dodge attacks were pretty huge on their own, but what made them super overpowered at the time was the fact that they could be dodge recovered on block, and that block also meant external full blocks. So every hero other than Blackbriar with a full block could do absolutely nothing but watch as these two assassins and the assassin hybrid danced around the fight, dodge attack spamming with ease with no counter to it at all. So if you ever saw someone you knew was going to lock in Pirate, Orochi, or Berserker and play like a degenerate, you can counter it by locking in VG and laughing at them by sitting outside the fight areas to shut down any and all dodge attack cheese. This was so effective that upon months of Varangian Guard being out into the public's hands, she was already one of the most banned heroes in competitive play beside Pirate. Pirate was still one of the most overplayed heroes in the meta of competitive play for many reasons. Confirmed ganking lays at the top, but the reason that she was still overwhelmingly picked was her ability to survive by just dodge attack spamming while locked into someone else too far away for them to parry. So unless you had an undodgeable, you physically couldn't touch her. Moving from bullshit mechanics to even more bullshit mechanics, we need to talk about Varangian Guard's crushing counters. No, not just her crushing counters, the 9 different ways to crush and counter the opponent. You had opening light attacks with each side having crushing counter properties, then your mid-chain light attacks with the exact same properties. Not only that, but every dodge attack being left, right, and forward have crushing counter properties. Now, why is this such a problem? Well, Varangian Guard, for some unknown reason on launch, was the only hero in game to ever have her crushing counter window be 300 instead of 200. A 100 MS window might not seem that big to the common eye, but when it comes to accidental crushing counters, that 100 MS is all the difference. Again, opening light attacks with crushing counter properties are very normal on any hero with a shield. Only one hero in the game has mid-chain crushing counters beside VG, and again, only one hero had dodge attack crushing counters unless you count the Valkyries. Accidental crushing counters became so common with the character and are still very common to see. A VG player will mindlessly spam dodge attack in a gank or failed 50-50 read and somehow always crushing counter a random attack coming towards them. Oh, that was a mistake. The reason why people don't complain about Beyondi's crushing counters on dodge is because there's no iframes on his, and the window is much more precise than VG's. So you had one of the safest heroes in the game with not only a special full block that trumped enhanced attacks, opener, mid, and dodge attack CCs that had larger windows than everyone else, and on top of that, cancel recoveries into said full block from all of that. Surely with all the outcry and negative feedback VG would receive, she would get her deserved nerfs quickly, right? Varangian Guard would go 8 to 10 months in her original release state, terrorizing every lobby she was in by being the ultimate I win button. There was a change of the hero in October of 2024 though, 10 months after her release. Almost everything here was aimed at her grossly extended hitboxes of, everything. Everything in her kit had grossly extended hitboxes. On top of that, they also fixed an issue the hero had with their light attacks. For a long time, Varangian Guard's chain lights were actually physically impossible to dodge. so they made sure that the secondary light attack was in fact dodgeable with this patch. A hero's hitboxes can make or break a hero. Shaman last month had absolutely worthless potential in teamfights because of her lack of external hitboxes. Orochi last year used to terrorize teamfights with his massive heavy attack hitboxes from sides. So did this nerf hurt VG at all? No, in fact I didn't even realize this existed, but that's why I use Google, because I don't like talking out of my ass. Well, yes, people were complaining about VG's hitboxes that rivaled the great consort Radahn's cross slash. It was never the main issue of the hero at all. The issues came from that anyone could decide, you know what, I just want to win, and then become God's gift of honor once they'd locked in Varangian guard. She was too safe, and everything we talked about still had not been addressed. Another 2 months went by, and in December, Frana released another nerf to VG, and finally, they addressed one of the major issues. They would end up reducing VG's crushing counter window from 300 to 200, aka what literally every other hero in the game has. Why did she have crushing counters that were better in the first place? Some will say it's to sell a pay-to-win DLC hero. I think they just tried to be unique on an effect. I didn't realize that giving someone a move that was better was not a way to do uniqueness. Now, did this affect VG's standing at all? No, this was a good nerf and a needed one, but if you're already used to other heroes and their crushing counter windows, then you are going to be unaffected while playing VG. This definitely toned down the amount of accidental crushing counters, but they still happened very often, primarily from the mid and dodge attack crushing counters. VG would stay in her spot on anyone's tier list as one of the best heroes in the game after these changes, but finally on April 24th, 2025, VG would see another nerf to her kit. Something literally nobody was asking for. The Frana community are a group of simple minds though. When they see a VG nerf, they cheer, but no one really looked at the nerf, and it really wasn't that much. The nerf in question was towards her opener light attacks losing the enhanced trait. A quick refresh to anyone that watches my videos while working or projects or sleeping. The enhanced trait allows you to not bounce off a move on block. So did this hurt VG? A little? The main issue still arose that VG's defensive capabilities are still too strong, but almost every nerf to the hero that she would receive would primarily be her offensive tools. Now, why does the dev team not want to nerf the defense powerhouse that is Varangian guard? There are many theories. Some people believe that devs want certain heroes to stay meta and be in the meta. Armush not being nerfed for months of being insane in the meta right now is a great example. The nerf would be easy as changing his damage numbers, but they haven't done it. Other people think that they just don't know the problems that VG is causing and stay oblivious to it. What I think is that the team does not want to accidentally kill a hero by over-nerfing them into the ground to then have to spend resources and ridiculous amounts of time fixing the mistakes that they caused. In my eyes, I think overall she needs her dodge attack crushing counters from left and right side to be removed from the game, but the overhead one should stay just like Blackbriar has. And if you want to be extreme, remove the mid-chain crushing counters as well. But again, who knows, if they applied these changes I've just selected, it might kill the hero more than we expect. Now some people will sit there and say, good, she deserves to be killed out of the game, but you have to remember again, people actually enjoy playing Varangian guard for who they are, not on their standing on a tier list. I can enjoy aspects of VG myself. For example, with forward there was a Spartan kick, and that's badass to see some sort of Spartan Easter egg in the game. Her mid-fight voice lines, being Greek as well, is a really nice call to. Calling people malakas, or in English, man who masturbates. Okay, it doesn't actually mean man who masturbates, but it's used to call someone a jerk off. Kind of like puta in Spanish, just having many meanings. Her armor is pretty cool, you know, the whole 5 pieces she has. But stylizing a VG can be fun. Trying to figure out which chest piece works with which helmet and arms, and which armor color makes everything pop is still very enjoyable. Her executions are cool, but my god, her options are very limited today. While I do enjoy seeing them 10 times a match can get boring very fast. But her emotes just suck. I mean, you have her defaults that are angry and... angry, I don't know, they're just literally copy-paste. So where does she sit now? If you ask me, she's still just as good as her day 1 counterpart, maybe a little worse, with nothing really that changed about her in the whole 2 years of her existing. A whole 1 year of her existing. Is that a bad thing? It can be. When a majority of your community is saying that something is unfun to fight, you need to act on it as a game dev. Games are meant to be fun, and when a hero has the nickname Fun Killer, it takes a drag on the overall game's state of play. I want to play this hero way more often, but as you can see, she's kind of taking the challenge out of the game for me. Here's every single leaderboard of every single game I played for this video. As you can see, a majority of them were wins with very high KDs. I can sit here and take the ego boost and say that I deserved all these wins and I played better than people, but a piece of me knows that the hero did a lot of the heavy lifting, and that's what makes me not want to play her as often. At the end of the day, I leave you with this message. You may hate VG, or love VG, but do not blindly hate each other for their thoughts. If you hate VG, don't take it out on the player. It's not like they chose to make her this way. And if you love VG, keep an open mind that the hero is in fact in a strong state and could aggravate people. or just treat everyone with respect, and no matter what the outcome of the game is, respect each other. As always, I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day.